Good evening, everybody. The violence happened after crowds left the Taste. Several people were beaten and there was a double shooting.
Cincinnati police say they're making changes to try to avoid a repeat. Local 12's Larry Davis is live at Fountain Square with a look at the plan to make sure what happened last year doesn't happen again. Larry.
Hi, Cammie. Well, first off, things are changing quickly here on Fountain Square. The barricades are up on 5th Street. Soon they'll be making way for all the food booths that will be set up here on Fountain Square and the surrounding area for the Taste of Cincinnati. Now, last year, the police presence was pretty much focused right here on Fountain Square. Following last year's trouble, though, police say they're going to be spreading out just a bit.
Last year's Taste of Cincinnati was pretty typical. Thousands of people walking around, eating and drinking. What was not typical was what happened in the fringe area outside of Taste as crowds were heading home. Violence in the form of assaults and gunfire broke out. Surveillance video from a Queen City Metro bus captured the assault on the son of Hamilton County Prosecutor Joe Dieters. He and his girlfriend were confronted by a group on West 9th Street. Those involved are seen leaving the area. There were several other assaults and 2 people were shot, again in the area around the Taste of Cincinnati. This year, Cincinnati Police Captain Mike Neville says more officers will be stationed in these fringe areas.
That is one of the changes we've made. We will have more on the outskirts of where most people will be. We want people to feel comfortable going to and from their cars or other parts of downtown. So yes, the biggest adjustment was the effect that we're going to have outside the event itself.
Captain Neville says the department implemented the strategic placement of officers following last year's Taste with good results. Despite the trouble near last year's Taste, Joanna Funchen and Jane Still have no worries about attending this year's event.
No, not at all. I come downtown almost every weekend, so no, I have no concerns.
You feel pretty safe?
Yeah, absolutely. If you were to be down here with a group, I don't know why there'd be any concern, but if you were coming down here by yourself or walking to your car by yourself, I think that's maybe to take more caution this time, but it doesn't concern me. I'm always in groups when I come down for the events like this.
Police will also have more citizens on patrol to work the crowds at this year's Taste. All in all, police and organizers feel good about this year's event.
I feel very confident. I think we're well prepared, and we'll have the people here that can make changes if we have to on the spot. So I think the city should be very, very comfortable coming down here, and I think we're ready.
Ready indeed. And Cammie, Captain Neville also says there will be more police officers on hand, not only around Fountain Square, but also outside the surrounding areas of the Taste of Cincinnati. He says it's really important for everyone to work together on this because, after all, it is one of Cincinnati's signature events. And after all, it does draw about 500,000 people. Live on Fountain Square, Larry Davis, Local 12 News. Cammie, back to you.
It is always a good time. Just curious, Larry, you mentioned 5th Street obviously being closed tonight as they set everything up, but are some of the other streets leading up to it also closed?
Right. They're closing off some of the surrounding streets, and I don't have the list in front of me right now, but they are, and you can see the barricades here on 5th. They will be closing some of the other streets, surrounding streets, to get those food booths set up. And they are already mobilizing here on Fountain Square behind me.
A lot of work to be done. Okay, Larry, thank you. And events like the Taste help prepare police for other things that attract large crowds, like this year's All-Star Game. Captain Neville says the police department will be ready for the large crowd that will come with the Midsummer Classic.